Hello guys, this is MJ from MJ Hobby Corner, and I have an important update for the channel. As of last night, Julie was hospitalized. She got very sick. She's been sick on and off the past couple of weeks, and she's been recovering and then going back and recovering. So it was time to make sure that, we had to get this checked out. So she was in the hospital last night. And as far as I know now, I've spoken to her. She's okay. They know what it is. And that's very important because really the anxiety is when you don't know what it is, right? And they're still looking for answers. And you're wondering, what the hell is it? What's going on? Is she going to be okay? And but they know what it is, and it is something treatable. As far as I know, this is the information that I have, and I'm going to be a little cryptic. I'm sorry, but I always like to ask Julie permission to post these things, just to be sure she's okay with, posting it. But I want to give the channel an update. We really appreciate our subscribers here on YouTube. We appreciate our patrons. And so want to make sure that, you guys know this video is going to be posted on Patreon and YouTube. So this way, both communities know, what's going on. So now that I know that she is going to be okay, and I haven't spoken to her doctors yet, but we know that she's going to be okay. At least that's my hope. And I'm sure new information will come up the next few days. I want to just give a brief update, a little chat with you guys. Julie and I were going to do a chat this week. Of course, that's out of the picture. So I just want to do a little MJ Hobby Talk and update you guys on how this is going to affect the channel in the next coming weeks and so forth. Okay. All right. So let's move on to the first thing. So first and foremost, obviously, Julie's needs come first, and we'll see how the recovery goes. So I will be uploading depending on that, of course. What I'm going to do, because obviously we had 2 games planned for the channel. You guys voted on them. One is Stargrave Quarantine 37, which won primary vote. And then the second place is Reaper Warlord. And it's interesting because Reaper has won twice in a row second place. So that means that there's a little Reaper community on the channel. And I'm glad. I'm really glad. So that's going to be Dark Reach versus Revan for Reaper Warlord. And then our usual Quarantine 37 little crew. I may come up with a new crew for that. I don't know. I like to keep the same crews so that we can constantly level up and kind of see the characters grow. So I know Julie's using her female crew that she uses. So what I'm going to do is bring a bunch of solo war games to the channel. And as you guys know, I'm also disabled, and so the channel's everything for me right now, it really is. And so right now the studio is closed for the winter, so I don't have that space. It's all sad and cold in there. But then come spring, I reopen the studio, and then everything migrates out to the studio, and I have more space. We can set up more games, more big projects can take place out there. But for now, we're using the MJ Hobby Corner office space, which is our winter quarters. And here you can see the deep war state table, which is set up. In a minute, I'll tell you what's going to happen with that. But this is going to be cleaned up today, and I got to revamp it and turn it into a craft table. Because I have projects that I want to finish. Okay, so that's it. So we're gonna have some solo war games, and I wanted to bring solo war games to the channel. Anyway, I've been doing that for a while. I always play a few solo war games. Most of those games were gonna be on Patreon, but I'm gonna bring some and have both. So some unique games will be on Patreon, some new games that I'm gonna be playing solo, and then also, some of them will come here to the channel as well. We'll kind of talk about some solo war games. So those are going to be the that's going to be the major change. You'll see some solo war games for a while now until Julie gets better, recovers, and then she's my battle munchkin, you know, so once she's ready, then she can kick my butt again and we can resume our two-player games. Okay, so about Deep Wars. So we had to finish. It was an interesting game because we're playing the upgraded 2.5 rules, upgraded second 2.5 edition. Normally we play the first edition. That's what I was used to. But for this game, we decided to go 2.5 to kind of test out those rules. The thing about 2.5 rules is that the combat system has changed a little bit. So actually it is different in many ways. And some of the abilities and all that stuff. So we were fumbling a lot with the rules and all that, but it was a good game. And so what I'm going to do, I have about 2 hours of footage. It's not a complete game because, again, we kept stopping so we can go over rules and things like that. But we had fun with it. So what I'm going to do is have another video. And in that video, I'm going to show clips of that game. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about the 2.5 rules. I'll show you examples. You'll see the table, right? And we can do more of a little Deep Wars in information thing. And one of the things about Deep Wars is that we really love it here. And this is a game that I play. I'm going to throw out a statistic just randomly, okay? About 90% of it, or maybe more, is all scratch build. I do all of my terrain scratch build. I do sculptures for it. There's a whole playlist that talks about the Deep Wars project, which was 2 phases, terrain, and the other one were sculptures. And so that's coming back this year. I'm going to be doing some more underwater terrain with different environments in mind. We're going to be doing the abyssal regions. And because normally right now we're playing in like the coral regions, shallower water, but we want to go into those depths, right? And then eventually I want to play Shadow Sea, which is sort of the parent game to Deep Wars. So Shadow Sea is actually going to be first. I'm going to do something on it for Patreon. So my patrons will see that first, and then some of those games will come here. And that's mainly a solo war game as well, Shadow Sea. So it's a very interesting game. And I know there are not very many Deep Wars players or enthusiasts here on the channel, but there's a few of you. And whoever you are, you know, you'll get to see it. I know it was voted on in the past in the polls. Not very many, but those votes exist, and we wanted to give those people an idea of, you know, have them see a game, right? So, again, I'll come out with that video probably sometime this week, depending on the situation. Everything is depending right now, all right? You guys understand. I don't have to, you know, give you too much detail. I know you guys understand. So, Deep Wars, that'll be, we're going to do a nice little... I'm going to do a nice little commentary video, and this was right before Julie got sick. And it was very sudden, and we had to stop the game, and then eventually she went to the hospital. So, okay, now let's talk about scratch building. Now, scratch building, my scratch building update. I have a number of projects that need to be finished. One is the Star Wars project and my Starship project. These are sculptures that I'm doing out of Super Sculpey clay. And I just started the TIE Fighters. And so I have a couple of TIE Fighters that I'm going to make up, and then some standard cannon starfighters, right? So once I finish the starfighters, there's also one Rebel ship that I want to do, the B-Wing, because Julie really liked the B-Wing. Once I have the little Rebel fighter fleet and the Imperial fighter fleet, then I have a table in mind. And I'm not revealing it yet. My patrons will see it first. I'm going to talk to them about it, see what they think. And then that project may happen in the spring, because I think I'm going to need the studio for that project. By the way, one of my cats is here, so he'll probably crawl all over the place. So heads up. But anyway, so I need the studio space because I have an idea for how to set up that table. So again, I'm going to be a little cryptic about that, but it's coming. And then we're going to play a Star Wars game or a Star Wars related, you know, that genre, that universe with my sculptures and scratch builds. Now, the rules that I'm using, we're thinking of using Warfleet's FTL for now. It's a nice, simple rule set, and you can, I'm going to tweak it a little bit and make it fit for the fighters. I don't know yet. There's another one, Stars and Lasers, which I was thinking of. I'm still trying to bring a game of that into the channel, okay? So, and then I have my starships that are not related to Star Wars that I'm also sculpting. I'm sculpting one more, and then these two fleets are complete, and we can start gaming, okay? So, solo war games. You're going to see a couple of starship solo war games with these clay sculptures coming in within the next couple of weeks or so. Okay. All right. And then Scratch Builder magazine. I want to say thank you. Scratch Builder has been doing well, and I thank you guys very much. I don't know who here on the channel has purchased the magazine or whatever. This is my little document on Wargames Vault. I have 8 documents already printed there, and I have different kinds. Scratch Builder Monthly is kind of my, where everything goes in there. I'm going to try to have product reviews. I'll have some sculpting updates. I will also have the projects proper, and I'm trying to incorporate a battle report that shows how my scratch builds are used in game. I don't. That's something that will depend on timing, okay? But Scratch Builder Monthly is about anywhere from 60 to 70 pages. Then I have Scratch Builder's cardboard ideas and other things which are single project issues. And these little documents, they are just about one project. I just have my tank document up there. So anyone interested in allied armor, there's going to be a few single project documents up there. And one thing I want to say about that is I just made a new, an upgrade, what I feel is an upgrade to the M18 Hellcat, the little top down. So what I'm going to do is when I have upgrades like that for projects like that, they will go in a separate document. That document's going to be free. I'm not going to charge for that. And so if you have that original document, you get the upgrade. That'll be free. And you can kind of see what new steps lead to the upgrade. Okay, so that's just something I'm going to do separately, or it may also happen in Scratch Builder Monthly. So if you get Scratch Builder Monthly, there'll also be updates to some projects, because sometimes I suddenly figure out a new way of doing something and it looks better, and I think, oh, you know, this looks better, let me do it this way. So that's going to be an update, little update thing that'll happen for some projects and even terrain projects. Okay, so look out for that. And again, those kinds of upgrades I will not charge for. If the project becomes something totally different, I decide on like totally different techniques, then I'll have a document that's longer and that I would charge, you know, $1, $2. I don't go very much beyond that. Okay, so and that's US currency. All right, so thank you. I want to say again, thank you so much to those people that have purchased Scratch Builder Monthly. Those proceeds go straight to the channel. Okay, so that's really helping me with if I need clay, which by the way, I'm running out of green stuff, and I'm going to be looking into other clays. So that's going to help with that, and I can keep sculpting. I have a lot of sculptures that are coming this year, hopefully. Health permitting for both of us. I do have a lot of sculptures coming. So thank you so much, guys, for your support to the channel in that way. Okay, so moving on to Patreon. So for my patrons, you guys know I already said this on Patreon. There are a couple of changes coming to Patreon in the way I upload. So hopefully you guys will get a nice mix of solo war games, 2-player war games, and sculptures and other scratch builds. So I'm trying to vary, and these are Patreon only videos. These are videos that only my patrons will see. And I have a couple of questions for you guys, for my patrons. You'll see them posted up, and it just has to do with what you want to see first. You want to see another sculpture, you want to see another game, etc., etc. The game Gods and Magic, that is a game that started on Patreon. I did my first game on Patreon. I really enjoyed it, and I have a lot of plans for that game. there's going to be a more narrative thing coming up. We're going to tell the story of the war between Set and Horus. And I'm going to throw in Anubis in there. Now, the thing is that for this game, all my gods and a lot of my legends are going to be sculptures. These are things that I'm going to make myself, and I'm going to incorporate them into the game. And then the troops and some of the legends will be in 1/72 scale. So that's the special thing about that game, is that all my gods are going to be sculpted or conversions. So that's going to be a good example of a scratch builder game. So that's going to be on Patreon, but there will be some games here on the channel as well. Okay, so it'll be on both ends. So that's what's, so for patrons, you have a video coming soon, probably this week, and that's going to be the sculpture of Set. I'm going to be sculpting Set, if you guys want to see it. Okay, if you don't really, because I have a couple of sculpting videos on there already. If you don't want to see it, then we can do a game, whatever you guys want. All right, so that's for Patreon. I'll talk to you guys very soon on the Patreon. Okay, so my top downs, finished the German force. I'm painting them today. You guys will see a little update in the community tab. Always check the community tab, because that's where I put all my updates. And I will also have any updates on Julie's condition and everything else in the community tab. And that's pretty much it, guys. I'm going to keep this chat, you know, we normally go for like 30 minutes when Julie and I are chatting. But, you know, I'm not going to hold you guys this long. I have a lot of things to do today. And thankfully, I have a good family support system, friend support system. And my friends will eventually, you know, they'll help me out and whatever. And I have a lot of faith that it's going to be okay. You know, again, we know what it is that Julie's in the hospital for. And so once you know what it is, you can treat it, right? They can treat it. So, and many thanks to all health professionals. A shout out to all health professionals. You know, they've been great. So, all right, folks, I think that's it. So expect the Deep Wars video. It's going to come out, and it's going to be more of a video where you'll see the clips, and we'll go over what went on and some of the rules changes and all that. Okay, so it should be fun. You'll see a lot of the figures, you'll see the whole setup, and we'll talk about some terrain and all that stuff. There's a lot going on in Scratch Builder. Oh, by the way, February Scratch Builder, I'm going to try to have out by February 1st. But again, it could change. Things, we don't know yet exactly what's going on, all right? You know, we'll just continue going through as time permits and things permit. So, as health permits, as they say. And that's the primary thing for both of us, okay? So, thank you guys, and I think that's it. I think you guys know most of what's going on, and I want to thank all our supporters here on YouTube, on Patreon, and, you know, again, if you want to support the channel in any way, you want to just come on board as subscribers. Thank you for all your comments and encouragement. And then there's also Patreon if you want to visit that, or Wargames Vault. I usually announce when my scratch builders are up. So thank you very much, and thank you for your support to the channel. And no worries, Julie will be back in no time kicking my butt in these games. So let's please roll a saving throw dice for her, and make sure you add all your bonuses and give her a high saving throw during this time. Thank you, and we'll talk very soon on the channel. Bye now. And this is our Dark General Merlin. He is a 5th level magic user. And right now he's inspecting the underwater worlds. He's inspecting our character sheets there, making sure we're doing everything right for the game. Merlin. Hey, Merlin. Yeah, he cannot bear to look at us mortals. So I hope we did okay.